feels like a very big leap from Homicidal to this one sonically. I definitely was very interested in like serial killer lore and like why they were the way they are and like the mentality that they all have. You never want to think about it, but those things happen and those people are more common than you think. Like there's like psychopaths everywhere, dude.
Why do you think we feel compelled to watch something horrific?
Because I think humans kind of like being scared.
I'm here today with my friend Drew from Sanguisugabogg, the most unpronounceable band in death metal and literally one of my absolute favorites. How are you, man?
I'm great. Happy to be on the show. I appreciate the kind words a bunch as well. So thank you.
Oh, dude, it's honestly like it's nothing. I think, does it ever get tiring of people being like, what's your band name? Sanguis Salmon.
I mean, yes and no, because it's like it's freaking hard to pronounce. I get it. People like they're like, how do you actually say it? Because some people say Sanguisugabogg or Sanguisugabogg or whatever. So it never really irks me.
It
I
makes
think it's funny.
it makes for some amazing like social content and memes and stuff.
Especially in like Poland and Germany or like France, like people are just like the way they say it is so fucking entertaining to us. It's awesome.
Sanguisugabogg.
Yeah, with a OUX on the end of it.
Yeah, 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 man. That's the for the refined gentleman. Uh,
Yes.
so yeah, I mean get into Hideous Aftermath. Like what a record. I feel like in the past you guys were kind of like um sort of gooning killers on pornographic seizures and things like that, and you've kind of upgraded to fully fledged serial murderers on this record. It's absolutely amazing.
It's kind of hard to explain like how it's evolved because obviously me and Sed weren't like there for the writing process of pornographic seizures or
Yeah,
tortured whole, but we played those songs for ever. It's the last 4.5, 5 years we've been playing those songs. And like when we wrote Homicidal Ecstasy, we were just kind of trying, like finding our foot as like new writers in the band, I'd say, like what we're going to contribute, how we're going to contribute it. Cody wrote a lot of that record on guitar himself too. We were like in the basement playing musical chairs with the guitar, like, oh, I've got a riff. Oh, you've got a riff. He's got a riff. Spaghetti it shit that shit together and then you got like that's kind of how that record came out. And then this one it was Cody wrote a couple riffs for it, but it was like 50-50. Me and Said really like combining forces and like having a lot to say with our guitars, you know what I mean? And I think we amplified more on like songs like Lesson in Savagery and Narcissistic Incisions from the last record. We were like we like those so much, and Skin Cushion, and like we like those songs so much. They're more brutal, super death metal, scary sounding, and I think that's obviously the route we wanted to take, and kind of went with it with this one, and just kind of tried to throw as many curveballs in there too, I guess.
yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, speaking of curveballs, like Repulsive Demise and Paid in Flesh, those two like those two songs were just they kind of like hit me out of nowhere. I was like, whoa, we've got like some Godflesh kind of vibes going on here, and then it goes like full doom. It's really it's not something I expected, but I feel like you guys have melded it into the band's sound perfectly.
Fuck yeah, thank you for that. That means a lot. We were really like definitely worried about Repulsive Demise. Now, I wouldn't say worried because we were very confident that we liked the song and like we were like, yeah, we're putting it on the record, and we were like, yeah, we should make it a single because it's gonna make people be like, what? But like we love Godflesh. so much, and we love Nine Inch Nails, and we love bands like Health, and we love experimenting with music rather than like doing something that people expect or would like hope to hear in a way. We kind of just want to be like, no, we have much more to say. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think out of all four of us, I don't think any of us want to be like, just like constantly producing the same sort of content because it would just be like sonically boring for us and honestly, probably the fans too, you know? Like, just try to meld all of our influences together. Like, even though I can't really pinpoint what we were influenced by aside from like Godflesh and Defeated Sanity and Cannibal Corpse, but yeah, we just were like, screw it, let's go all in on this one.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think, the biggest thing I sort of took away from it was the sort of dissonance that I think is on this record. There's so much kind of like disharmony on here, and it really makes like you feel uncomfortable, I find.
Sick. That's awesome. Me and Sed and Cody love our dissonant notes, so like that they make a lot of appearances. Like, we're not really like, we do some bar chords every now and then, but most of the time we're doing like tritones or fifths or inverted chords just because it like sounds scarier and big. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, totally, man. But I think, the sort of the leaps in how like how you guys have written the records are like so big with each release. I feel like this is like comfortably, for me personally, my favorite record that you guys have written, because I feel like it's really starting to kind of show the potential that you guys have as a band, like exploring these new ideas and things like that.
Oh yeah, that's also like, thank you. It's good to hear because we like that that's like a thing we stress ourselves out about, is like trying to stay entertaining for ourselves too, because we're so like ADHD and like our minds change so fast and we're so spontaneous with how we do things, like whether like all four of us are, we're nuts. Like, so like I think I appreciate that. Like, it definitely is and feels like a very big leap from Homicidal to this one sonically. Like, you can listen to him and it sounds like Sanguisugabogg, but there's like a much more, I feel like a much more serious tone with this record.
Definitely.
Like, the last record, we definitely took it seriously, but we wrote it seriously. Like, in between two tours, there's what, 12 songs on that record. We wrote a song a day. So we essentially wrote that in like 12 to like 20 days, which is like, now that I think about that, is absurd.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah, because Cody wrote like Testicular Rot and like Face Ripped Off, like so fast, and said added a few riffs to those and like what have you. And then we would just get together in the basement. We wrote like 9 songs in like 9 days, which is, it was hectic. And then like with this one, we definitely did not take enough time to write. Like, we're just, like, we're nuts. We kind of just, we did the Lorna Shore tour and it ended October 30th of 2024. Took a week off and immediately just went to Cody's basement and like started writing and demoing and writing and demoing for 2.5 months. And then we went straight into the studio. Like, we were working on songs the night before, like we are packing up to go to the studio. Like, we were like
Wow.
just really in it this time. And there was honestly a point where we were sitting there and we were like, damn, we only have 30 minutes of music right now. And we have a week and a half or two before we got to leave for Massachusetts to meet up with Kurt. And just out of nowhere, we're able to like get 15 more minutes and like got super inspired and like completed the thing. And it felt really good. And it definitely, we took longer of a time to write it than Homicidal, but it was much more stressful in a way.
it's interesting that you mentioned, the fact that this record feels like more mature and things like that. Like for me, there's a real cold feeling to this record. Like it's really sort of calculating. The album cover is like so like brutally in your face, but also very factual. The fact it's black and white and the track listings and things like that. It feels very sort of like dead behind the eyes. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Yeah, I honestly like I agree with you. Like it feels like, when you look at how colorful like the imagery on Homicidal was, or pornographic seizures, especially Tortured Whole and all those things, and like sometimes our merch, like insanely colorful. I think the record sounded pretty bleak and like real, like kind of like, I don't want to keep saying scary, but like it was just like intense.
Mm,
Feels cold, like you said. We wrote it in the winter time, so it has that like chilling edge to it, honestly. Like I can hear it. And we recorded it in Massachusetts, Salem, Massachusetts, which is like a super historically haunted city. And like we were walking around every single night around the city, and just like you can hear it. To me, I feel like you can hear it. And honestly, there's a sample in Repulsive Demise that I like. There was an alarm going on outside, and I took this task cam and just recorded it. So like we put that in there too. There's like Devin used a death whistle on one of the songs. Um, Sanctified Defilement. I think that's what it's called. Forgive me. I still remember the like
the
working
working
titles
titles,
for the song.
yeah.
Yeah, that one was called Dead by Dog. It's like I forget.
That's no, it's awesome, man. I love when you sort of almost bring those outside influences from like real life events and you get to put them on the record as well. I think it makes it so much more special.
Yeah, I agree. And Devin's lyrics for this record too are a lot more like they're horror as hell and they're scary, but they're still like real life situations. It's not like horror movie or like comic book style, not like his were before, but they're very serious lyrics. And some of them are crazy, some of them are off-putting, like in a good way. I think like he captured like lyrically what we were trying to do sonically too, like with that bleak dissonant sound, He started doing these different highs that almost sound like discordance axis, and like honestly like like plutocracy. So it's just like a whole different like we're just like adding new things, which is cool and good for a band like a death metal band to like try to add some new, I don't want to say tricks, but just like random things to your music that others might not like be doing or whatever, keep it fresh for us as well.
I was going to sort of touch on that. I'm not sure how much sort of involvement you have with the lyrics and things like that, but what are some of the concepts like that the record looks at?
So like that's definitely more of a question for Devin. He writes all the lyrics. He's that's his like he's a vocalist. He writes all of his own lyrics, and I love that so much because he's so creative
Mhm.
lyrically and just like in any way. But I really like it's hard for me to pinpoint like where like topics it touches, but Abhorrent Contraception, that one's like about a mom who's like being tormented by her family, and she goes nuts and fucking kills all of them. Like, and it's just like the story like within the song is so brutal and like haunting because it's like real feeling and sounding. And then like Repulsive Demise is just like it's just really I'm pretty sure it's just about like the demise of like humans. Like there's one point where he just says it's time to die. Like it's just like you gotta go. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
it's very bleak and like to the point. And there's a song about being fucked to death, of course. You got to do one about that for
yeah.
sure.
It's in the death metal handbook, like.
Yeah, must write about being fucked to death. Like.
Yeah, man. It's well, one of the things that, kind of got me thinking about that is not what we just talked about, but the quote from is it Joseph Kallinger, the in just before the defeated Sanity, I think, guest spot. And like I
Mhm.
was just wondering like why you guys decided to choose that particular quote, and especially from him, because like I did a bit of reading up on him, and like he was such an abhorrent creature.
He was actually terrible and like psychotic and murderous, nasty human. And that song is about like a mother killing her kids, in a
Mm.
really like demented story and her in a really demented like mind frame. And I think I was sitting upstairs at the studio while Devin was tracking vocals, and I was like, I looked at Sed and I was like, yo, this sample, it just makes so much sense because it's like he's just like I wanted to become like kill everyone in the world and become or like take my own life, kill my kids, and then become God. Well, there's a fucking hawk that just flew above me. That was crazy. Sorry about that. That was insane. It was huge. Um,
Talking,
but
man.
yeah, I think that that sample really aligns with like the subject matter of that song, and it just like kind of clicked. And I didn't even know like we love aborted. And I didn't know they also sampled that like
Oh, really?
25 years, yeah, like 25, 28 years ago. Like I didn't even know that. And I was like, damn, we're all on the same page. Like shit, whoops. But like after we found that out, I was like, well, we love aborted. It's already on the record. Oops. But like it's an homage in some sorts.
Yeah,
You know what I
man.
mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's, one thing, like talking about serial killers and stuff, like, are you sort of, because I find myself having a sort of morbid fascination with serial killers and like how someone could do that to a person. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, 100%. That is honestly something I've been interested in since I was a kid, dude. Like, I got into horror movies probably when I was way too young. And like, I don't know how old you are, but I'm about to be 30. And like all the websites that were online when we were kids, and like you just stumble across the most messed up and atrocious things.
Yeah, dude.
And it unfortunately desensitizes you. But I definitely was very interested in like serial killer lore and like why they were the way they are and like the mentality that they all have and like kind of a similar like weird thing that they all share in a way. Like you never want to think about it, but those things happen and those people are more common than you think. Like there's like psychopaths everywhere, dude. Like
Yeah.
could be my neighbor and I don't even know it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
but that's the terrifying thing, man. I started watching the monster Ed Gein series yesterday, and
mm,
it just it's just terrifying, man. Like how I think because you get sort of like it was weird actually because like when I started watching it, I was like, huh, this is actually like informing some of the questions that I was gonna ask for today because like you know like what do you think it is that makes people a monster?
I have no idea, but I do know I can like elaborate on like Ed Gein's situation. His like childhood was like maniacal.
Mm.
Like his mother would like beat him senseless and like brain injury senseless, and I'm pretty sure they would like tie him to a radiator, like just like keep him chained up type shit, and like that will definitely make you go insane. And like, you see people with like that get CTE from brain injuries, like these football players that get CTE or hockey players and they end up killing their wives or some shit. It's like I feel like a lot of those things and feelings can be genetic, like Ed Gein's or not Ed Gein, Jeffrey Dahmer's dad was like dissecting roadkill with him and like showing him that shit. And that just made him go on his own and find roadkill and like tear it apart. And then what did he do? He started killing people. So it's like you really don't know. You almost let that morbid fascination come to life because you're too curious. You're like
Mm.
fetishizing it. You know what I mean? Like you're becoming like lustful for that like crazy shit. Couldn't be me. But like I don't know. There's probably such an accumulation of things that causes it for so many different people.
Yeah, totally, man. I'm exactly the same. Like I can watch horror movies till I'm blue in the face, but I see like one
Oh
sight
yeah.
of like real blood, and I'm like, I'm done.
Oh yeah. Dude, when I was a kid, that stuff like was like so shocking. Like when find like the real videos, like
Yeah,
thinking about it now, it like makes me quiver because it's so disgusting. Like it's
yeah,
so
dude.
foul. But like some of the shit kids at my high school would just be like, look at this. It's like, whoa, dude. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Why do you think we feel compelled to watch something horrific?
Because I think humans kind of like being scared in a way, or at least like people who like horror movies or people who are interested in like extreme music or like scary books or like really fringe things that not a lot of people do. I think it just like comes along with the territory in a way. Whereas like we're interested in it and we don't want to watch it, but we're just like click anyways because you're just like, oh shit, that's crazy. I shouldn't do it, but I'm going to. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I really don't know, but it's got to be like just being fascinated and then we're like, oh, why'd we do that? Why'd we watch that?
Yeah, man. I feel like, death metal and horror just seem to kind of be like bedfellows. Like it seems to be written like, like they're just they go hand in hand, don't they?
Yeah, it just makes sense. Like it really does make sense. Like death metal sonically sounds like a horror movie, like with
Mm,
blast beats and like slams and like breakdowns or like tuba beats or like anything. It sounds like scary kind of. It's not for the faint-hearted people. It's like that's kind of how we view it. We're so into like different facets of death metal and brutal death metal and grindcore and gore grind that it's like also like intriguing to us, and like the horror movie aspect and then the serial killer aspect. It's just like the real life events and just like how gross humanity can be. It just like it makes sense for that to be like the topic for the most part. You know what I mean? Like there's a
yeah,
lot of death metal bands that talk about like space and celestial beings and like ghosts and
yeah.
like the occult and all of those things, which is all intriguing to me too. Like
So in terms of like the artwork, because I've been trying to figure out what it is. Is it just meant to be like the aftermath of like a brutal murder, or what is it?
essentially, yeah, that's kind of the way I view it. It looks like to me, it's like someone went on a rampage and killed like trapped a few people and like mutilated them and kind of made a sculpture of like all of their pieces
Hmm.
because that's what it is. It's like a torso with like gore everywhere and like it's a mess. You know what I mean? It's a mess. And to me it is, yeah, like it is the title of the album, you know what I mean? Like it is the hideous aftermath,
Of
because
course,
it's
yeah.
foul looking.
But what makes it more foul, I think, is the fact that it's not in color. It's so like, you know?
That's what we thought too. We were like, should we ask him to do color? And we were like, no, let's keep it black and white. It makes it more bleak.
Yeah.
Because homicidal ecstasy, those were real like cutouts of people and like all the collages inside were all like crazy collages that our dude Caleb made that were like, like cars and like things from adult magazines and like fishing tackle and like all sorts of random things, and I think with this one we wanted a little more of like you said, just like a more like haunting cover that like really encapsulated the music sonically,
Yeah, man. I feel
which is
like
awesome.
yeah, it's like something that you would see in a crime scene or something like that, that kind of like Polaroid type vibe.
Hmm. Yeah, and like within the record in the booklet, it's like the dude who did our cover, Kyle Bond, he like wrote all the lyrics on I forget like what the kind of paper, but it'd be like autopsy reports and shit. Like it would be
Oh, cool.
like actual like criminal investigation like notepads that he just sourced online and like you know what I mean, wrote on them. And I'm like, damn, that's so cool. Like the vibe of that is it's cool. It's interesting for sure.
Yeah, well, I think, even even the fact that, things are the cover's different, the music is different, and even like the us having this conversation now, I feel like it's making people kind of think a little bit more about like violence and things like that. And yeah, sure, like we can be like, yeah, sick, it's cool, but also like it is kind of pointing the finger maybe at like humanity. Do you know what I mean?
100%. And that's me and Devin had a conversation like at the end of the Lorna Shore tour. We're driving back home and I was just like, what do you think you're gonna go for lyrically for this record yet? Because he's a writer of lyrics like after the like when the song's done, he'll write because he doesn't, you know what I mean? He wants to get the vibe of the song and then he'll like things will start pouring out. And he wanted to go more like reality based and like real situations and be like, yo, humanity's fucked up and here's why. Like more brutal, more like real life events, scarier like topic choices. And I think that it sits well and it makes more sense. You know what I mean? To me, like I love all kinds of lyrics, whether they're dorky, serious, or
Yeah.
whatever, like it doesn't, it doesn't like, bother me regard like either way. But I will say the more real life, like, yo, humanity's messed up is more like intriguing to me. It fits the music a little bit more. Cause like you're saying, it was like, yeah, we could totally like keep being humorous with things and like we always will be. But I think with this one, it was like, all right, we do have a lot to say. We have so many different ideas and like we want to take this a little bit more seriously because like the more and more you do something, the more and more close you get with it, and the more and more you like dissect what you're doing
Hmm.
to try to figure out what you like and what you don't like. And like obviously what your fans like or whatever too. Obviously, we want our fans to like hear the new record and be stoked, but we definitely wrote this for ourselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we were so excited to write a third LP and that we even get the chance to write a third LP is a grateful feeling to begin with. And to be able to record with Kurt Ballou, who's like, now I'll just say he's like an idol of ours, and that man is a fucking genius.
Yeah.
And it was an honor just to like play guitar next to him and him like be like, damn, we did a cool record. Or not wrote, we recorded a cool record.
Yeah.
He's really awesome. And that it just came out more serious to take like not recording it ourselves and we had more time to like write our parts and not put the stress on Cody to record it and mix it. You know what I mean?
Speaking of great, people to collaborate with and everything like that, the guests that you guys have got on this record are something else, man. Like what made you kind of go for, like a sort of Full of Hell or like, Travis from Cattle Decapitation? Like was it kind of like, yeah, we want to get them, or did the song kind of call for it, or like what was the deal there?
We were the songs pretty much called for them. You know what I mean? And we had like a list of like people that we wanted to do and like Devin really wanted to get on the record to do guest appearances. But then like once we heard the songs, like it just I don't know, it made sense. Like shit, we put a deathcore ass breakdown in the end of track two, and we were like, D from Peeling Flesh needs to be on that. And then the end of the record, like the whole second half where Dylan is on it from Full of Hell, where it sounds like Yesu and like atmospheric, we were like, that's Dylan. And then the breakdown with Todd, it was like, that's Todd. And then Travis, it just like made sense there too, because it was like a really weird part and like super. interesting note choices where we were like, oh, his voice would be really cool on that, you know? And
Yeah.
unfortunately, there was a few that we didn't get, but like it just didn't really make sense. It like we will probably have them on the next record or the one after that, but it's just like, you know what I mean? We didn't want to do like seven guest people on one record. I definitely would love the idea of having a bunch of people on one song.
Oh
That
yeah.
would have been sick. Um, but yeah, I don't know. And all the people we were very good friends with and we've toured together before. We've never toured with Nails, but we're friends with Todd and
Mhm.
Dylan and Full of Hell are like our brother band. Like they're the best people in the freaking world, like straight up.
Yeah.
And Peeling Flesh too, they're also our brother band and the best people in the goddamn world, you know. Travis is fucking awesome too. Like, could have nothing bad to say about any of those people or their bands. They're like the best. So I'm like super stoked about that.
One thing I wanted to ask is what does Hideous Aftermath mean to you personally? Like not just the interpretation of the title, but like, you know, the record as a whole and everything like that.
To me, it means like honestly a few things. To me, it's like what rather like okay, it has the title Hideous. The music isn't terrible though, you know what I mean? But it's the like it's like the aftermath of what we just did for the last 3 years sonically. You know, so sonically I think about it like we wrote Homicidal Ecstasy and we toured so hard for 3 years and went so many places and like put in a lot of time on the road and kind of worked ourselves into the goddamn ground, you know? And like when all that record cycle and the touring cycle came to a close, it was like, okay, it's time, you know, it's time to like to do something and do what we were supposed to do and write music and whatever. So like that, like this record is like the aftermath of all of that time and all of the years spent playing those songs and like getting tired of playing those songs and then like thinking about what we liked about our favorite songs and like how we wanted to amplify them and then like in like a feeling and vibe way, it's like the hideous aftermath about like how gross the human race can be, like truly, and like how demented people are and just sick people are, you know?
Thank you ever so much for appearing on the channel, Drew. Really appreciate the time that you've taken out of your busy day, and you know, Hideous Aftermath is gonna smash some serious faces, man.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you taking your time with me and answering these questions. And I would love to shout out Kurt Ballou and Zach Weeks and our fans and my bandmates whom I adore. They're my bros. And my other band, Mutilatred, I would like to shout those boys out too. Um, yeah, I'm really stoked for the future and I'm stoked about this interview. And I can't wait for the record to come out in what is it, 2 days?
Yep, not long.
Sick. That's fucking crazy. That's awesome. Hell yeah. I just got like so excited. Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Awesome, man.